Oh, hello and welcome. My name is Tom.
And I'm Heather.
And you're sitting at the Couples Table.
The Couples Table is a live stream podcast here on this channel. Join us for better or worse.
For richer or poorer.
In sickness and in health.
As long as we both shall stream. And speaking of streaming.
Woo, sorry, I burped. I don't know.
This is episode 101.
Yay.
So wow, we really got it. We're really pro here. Today we're going to talk about an article, but before that. Last time we did a Couples Table was episode 100, and it just so happened to be on the 5-year anniversary of the day that we first communicated anyway, which was me leaving a comment on Heather's YouTube channel in 2017. And today happens to be the 5-year anniversary of the first time we met in person.
Yeah, so 2 weeks later,
yeah, exactly.
I went to go visit.
You went to check out
your
the classroom, and this right before school started.
Yeah.
And after I gave you the tour of the classroom and we talked for a while, you said, "Hey, we should do a live stream."
Yes.
Because I had just built a broadcast studio in my classroom. And so the very first stream from that studio was with you, which was pretty much my first school broadcast live stream. It was today on your MacBook Air, which is just down there somewhere.
Yes, and fast forward to 5 years later, what is this? Oh my goodness.
It's so shiny. It's so pretty.
Oh my goodness. Okay, this is the guy. I was there for the first live stream. Was not uploading videos to YouTube.
I had like 6 videos. Hey.
You did. It wasn't empty.
It wasn't an empty channel.
Yeah, no, you
definitely wasn't an active channel though.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it's been a journey.
It's cool, and now we get to do another live stream.
I know, isn't that cool?
It's very cool.
That. I love that.
Yeah, so
let's say hi to everybody first.
Hi.
David is the first. What's up? Mr. Camera Junkie in the house. Daniel is here from Digital Marketing Lab.
Daniel's just traveling all over.
Miro is morning, and the Rio Pell Room is here. Drew, what's up? Curiosity Network Podcast. Hello from the other side. John Vandevor is here. Let's see. Altone Tech. Hi. Call Me Cubby's here.
Drew, to answer your question, my answer is no, but maybe someone else has a yes.
Homesick Mac. Is your tour? Are you back from your tour? Oh, the mail is here, so Ben is losing it. J Poetics. Hey. Sorry, everybody. Now everyone else's dog is barking.
I can't see him, but he's at the window standing up, and it's really pretty cute. He's down now.
Benny. Okay.
Oh, and just because we were talking about it, I'm using the Neat Worker Bee, the original. I don't make this one anymore, but it's such a cute, ridiculous mic, and I like the way that it sounds, so haven't used it on the couples table yet. Haven't used it in a while, so wanted to use it.
Yay. Cool.
All right, so that's what we're doing right now. What else? I guess that's it.
I guess we're into it.
Jump into it, yeah?
Yeah. What's wrong?
What?
What's up?
Oh, I was looking at the chat. I thought something happened, then I heard a sound over there. I got distracted. Okay.
Oh, no, we're good.
So here's some context for this article. When Heather can't sleep at night, she sometimes scrolls, and then I wake up in the morning to a lot of notifications about, like, Heather sent you this, sent you that, sent you this, and it's all these articles and posts and things. And this one was from a couple of weeks ago. She sent it to me thinking I would find it interesting, but you didn't read it, right?
I didn't read it because I was like, I think I should read it when it's not the middle of the night. Yeah. And then we should talk about it.
I read it and I was like, this is really interesting. We should definitely talk about this. And then we thought it would be more interesting since I've read it, Heather hasn't read it, to kind of go through it together and with everyone here who probably hasn't read it as well. And just kind of go through and discuss it because it talks about something that I've not heard discussed ever before, but is actually a really big thing.
Yeah.
And affects everybody to some point or other, which is sort of the flip side of when you think of like the online influencer, creator person who does things that influences an audience. This article flips that and talks about how the audience influences the person making stuff and how that can often go into really scary territory if you aren't prepared or aware of that.
Yeah, it's hard. And I feel like there's a discussion that we can all have about, like, you know, when you do things for the views, because obviously we want to grow our channels. We want to create content to the people that are watching, but where do you draw the line in terms of like what you really want to do and what
your audience wants you to do?
What your audience wants you to do. So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Yes. So Heather posted a link in the chat if you want to check out the article. The headlining image is very interesting.
I try to find it.
I guess not the headlining image, but the second image. Because the article starts out by talking about a YouTuber named Nikocado Avocado, which...
I'm going to open the green screen.
Okay. About a year ago, I watched a 4-hour documentary about this guy, which was fascinating. I didn't watch it all at once. It was over like several days. Completely fascinating to see. I had heard of him just through students, but I didn't know anything about the journey. And then apparently the journey is still going now.
Here's this. I want to show this. Let's see.
Look at Heather's setup here. There we go. Boom. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot happening right here. This is the same person, by the way.
Yeah.
When they started their YouTube channel to like a recent YouTube video. And that's what this is. The article doesn't just focus on this person. It kind of uses them as an example and a jumping off point into other things. So
yeah,
this is just kind of the most visually like concrete example of what the article talks about.
Cool. So you want to go get into it?
Yeah. All right. So we're not going to like read the whole thing. It's not, you know, a college class where we need to go through the whole thing. Yeah. Heather, can you read the next paragraph? But it talks about, so in 2016, when he was 24 years old, this guy, Nicholas Perry, started uploading to his YouTube channel. At the time, he was a vegan. He was a violinist. He was just sort of like very soft-spoken nature peace dude.
Nature peace dude.
Just doing his own thing. And the article mentions like he didn't really get a lot of attention. Like a lot of people weren't really watching at the time. After a year, he stopped being a vegan, and he said it was for his health concerns. And so he started making videos that were like, okay, trying meat for the first time, or, you know, former vegan eats a steak and stuff, which, you know, I don't know. I don't think that's, if you're making a personality-based channel, that's not necessarily a crazy thing. Like if you stop being a vegetarian, it wouldn't be insane to go like, oh, I'm going to make a video about eating a steak.
It would be like, you know, trying Nikon for the first time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like, okay, cool. This person's trying something, other element. But then people kind of, that grew the channel a lot. And so very quickly he went into like the extreme mukbang community where it was like eating as much food as possible and unhealthy food. And then right there you can see the comment section of videos soon became filled with people challenging him to eat as much as he physically could. Eager to please, he began to set himself torturous eating challenges, each bigger than the last. The audience applauded, demanded more. So that was a thing that clicked with the audience, and he just kept doing more and more and more and more. And then it grew. His channel's over 6 million now. He's huge. Online, his channel. But also, if you're listening to the audio only version, the before and after photo, the first one is him like eating veggies, super like thin and fit, and the last one is him next to a plate of McDonald's, shirtless, morbidly obese, wearing a CPAP machine.
What's a CPAP machine?
It's a thing to stop you from sleep apnea.
Oh.
I think that's a CPAP. That's what it looks like. So the article picks this example because it says that he was molded by his audience's desires into a cartoonish extreme, basically becoming an entirely different person from who first started the videos. And this is sort of the thesis of the article. We often talk of captive audiences regarding the performer as hypnotizing their viewers, but just as often it's the viewers hypnotizing the performer. This disease, of which Perry is one victim of many, is known as audience capture, and it's essential to understanding influencers in particular and the online ecosystem. So that's sort of what the article is setting up there.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know when we want to check in or stop or anything.
We can check in.
Yeah.
Tech Troublemaker says the internet will watch you kill yourself if you let it. You have to take care of yourself and realize you can't please everyone. Find your tribe who accepts you.
Yeah, and the thing that I like about this article is at the end it does sort of give concrete steps for that. It's not just like, look at this crazy thing, but it's like, here's it also practical steps to implement, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as we dive a little more into this, let's see, there's a few things I wanted to point out here. Because it talks about developing your personality. Here it is. Can you highlight kind of this paragraph here? So this next section talks about how we as people develop our personalities. Because, there's always like the nature nurture debate and stuff. But it's interesting to think of what somebody would be like if they'd probably be, it wouldn't be great. But in theory, if someone were just isolated from other people totally, what would that personality be like? Like how much of your personality is shaped by what you've encountered, what you watch, what you consume, the people around you. And what the article says here is that a person's identity is being constantly refined, and so it needs constant feedback. That feedback typically comes from other people, not so much by what they say as by what we think they see. See, I think you saw me mess up that line a bunch just now. We develop our personalities by imagining ourselves through others' eyes, using their borrowed gazes like mirrors to dress ourselves, and just like lacking a mirror to dress ourselves leaves us disheveled, lacking other people's eyes to refine our personalities leaves us uncouth. So, I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of that idea of like when we talk about negative YouTube comments and the idea that like a person isn't meant, or even positive ones, a person isn't meant to just get that much feedback at once, because it's too much. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans just lived with, very small groups, and that's tribes. The feedback they got.
Yeah. Small
tribes, small villages, that kind of stuff.
Families, yeah.
So to have everybody on Earth being able to just send stuff your way is very overwhelming. And when that shifts to how your personality develops, because there's a thing in here at some point, I think it's the Michelangelo, I can't read today, Michelangelo phenomenon is the name given to the semi-conscious cycle of refinement and feedback, whereby lovers who genuinely care what each other think gradually grow closer to their partner's original ideal of them. So so you might think like, so for example, 5 years ago today when Heather and I met, I might think like she thinks of me this way, that way, and the other way.
And so you start doing stuff.
And so I'm consciously, whether or not she does, I'm consciously thinking, okay, if she thinks of me that way, a person who does that would do this thing, or a person who's like that would do this. And it's not faking it, because you really want to embody that thing, and then it develops into your personality over time, which is interesting.
I like this. So we're all gaining online audiences, and we don't really know these people. We can only gauge who they are by what some of them post online. And what people post online is not indicative of who they really are. When influencers analyze audience feedback, they often find that their more outlandish behavior receives the most attention and approval, which leads them to recalibrate their personalities according to far more extreme social cues than those they'd receive in real life. And the thing that, like, you know, I know this is going to be a green screen.
It looks cool. It's bright. Aubrey likes it.
Oh, yeah. Well, so we'll just leave it. So the thing that I don't know, it makes me feel funky is that we're all on YouTube, and that is how the data is presented back to us, like the feedback. Like, we get a green arrow or we get gray arrows. Yes, there's comments, but I think the numbers are going to hit faster and harder to us in terms of like whether a video performed well. And the conversation I really wanted to get into is like, you know, it's just like I can very easily see how something like this happens, right. You know, where okay, you have, I mean, all of us, I think, here have done a video where we put our heart and soul to it. We spend so much time, so much effort into making a video that gets meh views. Mm-hmm. And then we spend a quarter amount of the time on another video that gets quadruple the views for whatever reason. And then it makes you think like, okay, maybe I got to lean more into that. There's 1.5 billion people watching shorts. Maybe I need to lean more into that because that's the validation that we want, right? It's like those big numbers and those views. But, you know, I don't know whether I said this on the pre-show or earlier, but this is what I'm saying in terms of like, where do you find the balance in terms of course we want our content to be seen. We want our channels to grow. But are you like, I don't know, compromising your integrity or what you're trying to accomplish with your content for the sake of trying to please people that you don't necessarily know? I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do, because it's
and okay. Like how would you, I know the article has like suggestions at the end, but like, you know, coming from someone who has the silver play button.
You mean this silver play button right here? This one?
You know what? You deserve to do that anytime.
You're the one that told me to go get it and bring it in here. No, I know. But I was happily obliged.
But like, how do you find that balance?
Okay. The example I can give you is hard. I don't have an answer, but I can clearly explain a few things. So, jokes and puns, right? That's a thing.
Yes, that you do? Yes.
It's a thing that I do. It's a natural part of my personality. I can't stop that. So when the cameras aren't rolling, even when like...
Yeah.
It's just a thing that happens. And when I was teaching, I leaned into that very heavily because that was a great way to connect with students and a great way to like build positive classroom environments and stuff. And then what happened over time was it was like I love teaching a lesson and I throw in a goofy joke, teach a lesson, you know, and then make the whole thing fun. But then it got to a point where it was like, I would do my whole lesson and students would just be waiting like, what's the joke for today? Like, what's the joke of the day? And I'm like, I love doing the joke of the day, but it's really important that we also pay attention to the content. And I do have that same struggle with YouTube because like, I know there are people out there who hate the stupid jokes and stuff. But they're not for me, and we're not on the same page. But when it comes to the jokes and things, it's like sometimes I will find myself making a video where I'm like, oh, there's really like I need to kind of add something here because there isn't a joke. Because naturally it didn't come to me. Like I was just talking about the topic. I was just interested in the topic. And it's like I should make sure to add in like it's almost like I don't want it to be distracting because people are going to be talking about the lack of jokes.
Right.
Like it's sort of
it's a big part of the conversation underneath every single one of your videos is like the jokes.
Yeah, and it's weird because like personally as the creator, I would like the topic to be the main topic and the jokes are the icing on the cake. But that just is kind of not how it works. And the same thing was true in the classroom. And what I realized in the classroom was that ultimately what the students were really going to remember was how they felt in that environment, that they enjoyed being there, that they trusted the person who was talking to them. They might not remember everything he said, but those things would last a lot longer. And I think the same is true with YouTube. The jokes might distract from the topic, but the jokes are going to be the thing that sticks with someone and makes them feel like they enjoyed the time they just spent watching something.
The experience.
That might be the thing that makes them feel comfortable sending an email or a message or reaching out or whatever. So it's like it is really important. And then what I have found is to have outlets. If you've listened to my own personal podcast, there's not really many jokes on it. Like, it's really not funny. I don't think it's funny. Maybe it's funny. I don't think it's funny. Every once in a while, like, I'll giggle or make a joke, but it's not. It's exactly the opposite of that. Like, there's zero effort made to put jokes into it or to do that.
I mean, the jokes are still there because it's
right.
You.
I mean, it happens, but it's not like, okay, it has been 45 seconds since a joke happened. We need to have a joke right now. Like, that's not the case at all. And that's been my personal compromise, is like, this audience, like, this builds a community that I want here, because I like the idea that people who like the thing I'm making are on board with really dumb, cheesy jokes, even if it's a little distracting at the topic from times. And then when I don't want to have to focus on that, I can go over here and do my own thing. Even on the second YouTube channel, I'm making videos, like, other than the ones that just come naturally, there's no jokes. Like, it just sort of is, I don't know, it is what it is. And that's like the best version of this problem to have, because it's like,
right.
Do I talk about something I'm interested in, or do I make jokes that I think are funny, or like find a balance between both? And like, oh no, people like know me as the person who makes cheesy jokes.
But it just reminds me of, like, of course, the things that are so, you know, the super crazy experiences are the ones that I know of, because those are the ones that get the negative press, like the mom that was like trying to take a picture of her son,
right,
like, whose dog died, or like, what's his name? One of the Paul brothers.
Yeah.
Like, in that video, the super eye patch wolf guy took the younger brother's Jake Paul's course on, like, how to make a YouTube channel or whatever. And, like, one of the things was just drink the water out of the toilet bowl. Like, yeah. Obviously you're going to get views, but it's not, like, I think we can all agree that's not, like, you shouldn't do that. It was literally like,
here's a game where the person who loses has to drink the water out of the toilet bowl, and it's like, yeah, I don't want to have to drink water out of the toilet bowl.
You're definitely going to get views. You're, obviously, but it's not, you know, and like, I think, as we're sitting here, that's very clear that, you know, where to draw the line, but I don't know. I'm sure there's, like, more gray area stuff that...
Well, where the article... Can we go back to this scene real quick?
Yeah.
I don't mean... I definitely don't want to focus on the political part of this, because that's just a discussion I don't want to have. But it goes from, like, the YouTuber side of things to the political side of things. And it gives an example of a political journalist. And it basically talks about how, like, she started her online, you know, she was online sharing her political things. She was a conservative person, but nothing too extreme. Like, she was just talking about her point of view, her perspective, that kind of stuff. But as she gained, like, a bigger audience by making more and more, like, bombastic, kind of crazy claims, eventually it just went down the rabbit hole where she was off, like, way over in the, like, extreme alt-right crazy, like, stuff that makes no sense at all. Like, she just ended up over there because she was just following the things that the audience was coming for and pushing her towards. And I don't know her, but it doesn't seem like that was the intent of the original person. You can scroll down a little bit, because this is all political stuff, and I definitely want to avoid, like, political stuff. But here we go. Right here is where the author, the second paragraph here is where the author talks about themselves. And at first I read this and I was like, I almost thought this was like a little self-righteous, and then I realized where they were coming from. He says, I'm no authority on the degree to which my mind has been captured by you, my audience, but I do suspect the audience capture affects me far less than most influencers, because I've taken specific steps to avoid it. I was aware of the pitfall long before I became an influencer. I wanted an audience, but I knew that having the wrong audience would be worse than having no audience, because they'd constrain me with their expectations, forcing me to focus on one tiny niche of my worldview at the expense of everything else until I became a parody of myself. And so he goes on to talk about that his way of handling that was when he started posting and sharing stuff online and connecting with people, it was stuff that kind of came from sort of a broad, like open-minded viewpoint. And then he knew that the people who liked that would be interested in someone who shared things from a broad, open-minded viewpoint. So quite a variety of stuff, like maybe changing his opinion on things from time to time. And there might have been fewer of them, but it was the right kind of person. Same thing with like the jokes and the videos. There are a lot of people who hate them, but the people who love them are the people that I feel like I connect with. Like that's the audience that I want to be there, you know? Right. And it's really hard. I guess I'm trying to... Oh, here. I love this. I love this line right here. This paragraph starts with, for the same reason. For the same reason, I'm suspicious of those with strong, sharply delineated brands. Human beings are capricious and largely formless storms of idiosyncrasies. I love that. Largely formless storms of idiosyncrasies. So a human only develops a clear and distinct identity through the artifice of performance. It's basically saying there's so many sides to somebody that when you go with just like what the online audience, these numbers, these analytics force you to do, it niches you down so specifically that you are not a full like person. You don't, and I guess you could do that on purpose if you wanted to. Like if you do a cooking channel and you don't want people to see your face, you don't want people to know anything about your personal life, you just want to teach them how to make food, you could just top down shots of you making food, explaining what to do, and that's it. And you can choose that the only thing anyone knows about you online is how to make food. But that's by conscious choice, not by people. Like, I guess it kind of goes to like, I know that my channel would perform better if I did more Rodecaster and microphone videos, at least to a point.
You are making a conscious decision to not. Yeah. And that's the thing that like no one sees. And that's the thing I want to talk about, because everyone only sees what you when you are doing, like what you put out, but they don't see that, like, of course Tom could double down and get another one of these by just making Rodecaster.
I mean, how many times have you seen people, how many times have you followed a channel that does, it's one thing to discover what your channel is. So like I can say the Rodecaster for me was where I discovered like, this is what I'm interested in. There's a huge overlap between my interest and the audience interest. This is something to focus on.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. But how many times have you seen somebody like, you know, they do their stuff and then they do one thing that kind of like pops off in a certain way, and then the next 10 videos are just kind of that thing again in different ways? It happens a lot, and I get it. I totally get why someone would want to do that. But then by the end of that, the audience they have built up through that
is only watching for that.
Yeah, even today on my second channel, I forget who it was. Was it Mac? I don't know. Somebody here, I think, left a comment on like the second video I made that was all about getting my P bass back in April. It's the highest viewed video on that channel, which has 17,000 views. That's pretty good for a channel that has zero promotion or anything. And I got scared when I saw that video starting to
pick
up a little bit, because it just so happened the next video I made, because I was into my bass when I got it, was also about the bass.
Now it's turning into a bass channel.
Yeah, and that person was like, there's clearly an audience for people who want to know about the bass. I was like, yeah, that's why I'm consciously not posting one for a while, because if someone shows up and they stick around, I want them to know that it's not that. That will pop up from time to time.
Right.
But also you're going to get a video about camera bags and stuff I'm doing that day and just something goofy and whatever. Yeah, so consciously, like, that was terrible for channel growth, but good for me making the channel I wanted to make. Yeah. Should I put this down? Or
I'll put it down.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm curious what your thoughts, I have some other thoughts on this, but
let's check in with comments.
Yeah, let's check in with comments. So well, first of all, Tech Troublemaker says, I have that Elgato green screen. I just wish it were a little bit wider. Yes. Jonah Gaze out in Davis. I saw you posting some cool pictures the other day. That gray arrow still sucks, even though the number says 1.1%. I was thinking, when you go into YouTube and it has the 5 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 ranking or whatever, I do hate that, and I hate the little messages they give you because it's completely useless information. But looking at it, I don't mind the other like personally, I was thinking, okay, what would I want? I would love to get rid of the little comment that says, well, today it says this video performing as usual. Okay. What can I do with that information? Nothing. Get rid of that. I don't care how 8 out of 10 this is. It's just going to make me feel bad. I don't mind seeing how many views it has. I don't mind click-through rate. I don't mind view duration. I don't care about, but it's fine that's there. I've learned that I don't even mind the little green checks or the green arrows or the gray down arrows. It's a gauge of like, is it normal, better, or worse than average? I just hate how it throws it, because last week my video has been it's the worst performing video of the year for me. And now I feel like it's a bad video. And it's not a bad video. It's a really good video that I had a lot of fun making, that's really, really helpful. But because of this, now I feel like it's bad.
Well, see, so here's the takeaway that I have for this article is that I understand how this, can lead to very bad situation for content creators. But I think the thing that happens more often to more people is the platform dictating how, like, what the creator creates, because I think it's rare for, I think silver play button and above, you're literally the only one here in this audience right now that has that. Everyone else Nick is here. Doesn't. Yeah, unless Nick's here.
Mr. Beast is in the chat.
I think most people, I don't know what the percentage is, but I'm sure like 1 million subscribers and above contribute this many percentage of views on YouTube. But I think there's a way bigger percentage of creators that have sub 1 million, sub 100,000 subscribers. They just don't generate that many views. And so where does the feedback come from? It comes from the platform. It comes from, I'm checking YouTube Studio and it's telling me 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 or whatever. And that's when you get a 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10, like, are you now adjusting in your head the value, the worth of what you're creating?
Right.
Of course you are. Like, you are, and you have over 100,000.
Yeah.
So you still do it. So it's a thing that, like, I think the important thing, the thing that is worth having a conversation is just the awareness of it, right? Like that you're aware of, are you proud of what you've created? Are you happy with what you've created? Did it bring you joy? Did it bring you fulfillment? Like, of course, does it, bring value to your audience? Like, of course you care about that. Mm-hmm. We're not trying to waste anybody's time here. But then, like, what do you do when you feel really good about it? The audience feels really good about it, but YouTube's like, nah.
Right.
So it's not a bad video.
No, it's not a bad video, but I can't help but feel like it's a bad video. Like, and there's some, and it's crazy because in my mind, I'm like, this video must really suck. And if I ever go back and click on it and watch it, I'm like, oh, it looks good. It sounds good. It's interesting. It's a completely perfect, like, not perfect, but like it does its job video, perfectly. Yeah. So I guess it depends on what the goal was with the video. Was the goal to like go crazy and grow the channel? No, the goal with that video from last week was to like put a thing out here that's a resource to answer a question I get a lot, which in this case was like, how do you, like, what font do you use? It's like, the font's my own handwriting. Check it out. Here's a video on how to turn your handwriting into a typable font. Cool. I know that's a niche thing, but it's also like, I'm glad that it's there because I know that in the future I'm going to be linking back to it and sending it to people a lot when they ask that question. So it has a very specific purpose, even though it's not like blowing the doors off the even today's video though is not performing well, and it was one I thought like, oh, this will be one that does very well.
Did you already see Gil's super chat?
I did not.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let's catch up. Michael says the algorithms are for attention, but we do have to do the work to create connection community once we have that attention.
Very true.
Gil super chat. When I used to preach sermons, I always blended jokes in my message, and it always kept the audience attention, and I was being me. They live in the MTV Jackass type of YouTube. We all are more than what we put out.
Right.
It's not a bad video at all. Tom, are you talking about the font video?
Yes.
I think low performance on that is that it's different than the usual videos.
I mean, it is, but well, it's the same thing when people go like, "Oh, you're just talking about products. You're just talking about products." You know what my worst performing videos are? Ones that don't talk about products. So what do people in my mind? What is it that people want to see?
I was so excited when Tom was putting this video out because I was like, You're not a product pusher. You're not.
No, I like I like gear, and so I like talking about stuff I'm excited about, which is it is a lot of gear. But I also try to go like, hey, this is how you could use that. This is a thing you can make with it. This is how to use a feature on it. This is how, like, here's the Rodecaster. It's awesome. Here's a feature of the Rodecaster. Here's how you use it with your computer. Here's how you do this. Like, you don't
see. That's why it's just so interesting because I can see how someone looks at your channel is like, oh yeah, everything you talk about is like $200 and above or whatever, or, you know, I don't know what the naysayers say or whatever. Peter Gregg is here. Hello from Miami. My worst videos do the best. My best videos do the worst, per my own critiques.
I miss you, Peter. I'm glad you're here.
Ono Coffee says, not that it's a bad video, just a different type
right,
of
video. And I mean, I know, like, but that's the thing of, like, okay, well, I guess I could just make a million videos about, like, streaming setups, but, you know.
You gotta do you.
Yeah, it's like I've seen channels out there that will review every Apple product that comes out, and when a MacBook comes out, they'll buy all 5 versions of the MacBook.
You know why? It's because when you spent 2 hours making your Apple Watch video and you got 100,000 views overnight,
when my channel had 2,000 subscribers.
Yeah, like, who isn't gonna be like, I gotta make more of this?
I completely get it. Of course. But the difference is I'll do like, well, here's my Apple computer video because I get one new computer every 4 years, and maybe 10 months later, here's a follow-up just so you know how it's doing. But that's very...
And it's hard, especially like where it gets really, you know, I don't know. See, this is the thing that like gives me anxiety. I don't know how to explain the feeling that I have, but when content creation also becomes a source of income, right? And then like the 2 hour, 100,000 view video about the Apple Watch that took you no effort and you don't necessarily care about, but is bringing in the money and is bringing in the audience versus your font video, which is 10 out of 10. You know, YouTube thinks it's a bad video. Obviously, you've been able to find the balance, but I feel like everyone, you know, show me the person who isn't going to be like stuck. Like, I'm in a very interesting dilemma here.
Yeah, no, I get it. Like, I'm not condemning, but I guess it kind of goes back to something we talked about several weeks ago. So when I think of the person, okay, Apple comes out with a new MacBook, I'm going to buy one of every configuration and I'll do a video, and you can do a video for each of them. You can do comparison videos. There's like an exponential number of
just like 10 videos
you can make.
Per thing.
And it'll last you all the way up until the next thing comes out, and then you can just do that. And your channel's going to do really well, and those videos are going to perform well. But I definitely, unless that's the thing you're just crazy passionate about, which like it is for some people, the thing that they're passionate about.
They're just obsessed.
But for other people, they get really tired of doing that and burn out, and then they feel stuck because now they can't really do.
You can't. There's no way. Are you kidding? There's no way that a tech channel can make a video about anything else but the thing that they're known for.
And the latest and greatest, and the this and that and the other thing, and so.
It's hard.
It's very difficult.
Sammy Superstar is here. Tech Free Needs. Hello. Drew says, I had a similar situation happen. The video I put out last week, 33 views and very average ratings all around. The video before, 120 views and the highest ratings ever on my channel. And the difference in video styles to me are crazy different. Time, styles, refinement, and even some new techniques I learned too. Crazy to see the drastic difference between the two videos. Yeah. Hello from Birmingham, Alabama.
Sounds like you must be working.
Daniel, which one is last week? Worst performing of the year, the custom font. I loved it. Working on my own one.
Well, so see, that's the thing. That's the thing too. Is that's one where like according to YouTube, it's the worst video of the year.
That's why I think.
But if you go through and you read the comments on the video, the less than normal number of people that watched it are all like, "This is interesting. Thanks. I didn't think I'd be doing this, but now I'm making my own font." And blah. That's cool.
My big takeaway from this article is yes, I'm sure audience capture is a thing. I think it's a huge thing, especially if you have 1 million subscribers plus. I think the average creator is going to be suffering from platform capture, whatever the platform equivalent is of. YouTube is telling you whether your content is good or not. And it's just so frustrating because I've seen so many videos of like creators talking about how the YouTube studio makes them feel of all sizes, and it's just like everyone feels bad, you know. Like it annoys me that YouTube has so much power with how someone's day could be going.
So here's something I've been thinking about that I think might make you feel a little bit better.
Okay. What?
So I was talking to Peter about this. We've been talking a lot about this, but just the other day, about it seems like vlogging is kind of, sort of, potentially becoming popular again. What?
I was gonna say, are you gonna say it's coming back?
I mean, I don't.
So it is. Okay.
I don't know. Like, I don't think it would get to like 2016, 2017 levels again. I think that was a period in time. But I do think something we've talked about here is there is sort of this feeling, at least in our spheres of YouTube, mine for sure, of things kind of feeling sort of stale, and lots of the same types of videos. Everything looks and sounds good, but it's like kind of that spark seems to be missing. And I think from what I've seen, when people are sharing more vlog style stuff, I don't know how the performance is, but the like interest is through the roof. Like Peter's a good example. He's like, the retention on my vlogs is like, it's insane. It's like all the way through the end of the video. The retention on normal videos, like, burp. And I don't want to get too into that kind of analytics, but the idea of not as many people are watching, but when they're watching from beginning to end on this thing because it's really interesting. And I've noticed, like, you know, Peter has his vlog channel that it does well, and he has so much fun making those videos. But what I remember happening, and what I think kind of led to the current situation, is when a lot of people were doing vlogs, there is sort of it naturally leans into the extreme thing. Because here's day in my life, doing this, and now something crazy happens. It's your birthday, and your significant other like buys you a hot air balloon ride, and you're able to like film this crazy thing, and I don't know, the balloon tips over and hits a sign or something, and like, wow, insanity. And now that video goes crazy. So the next time you make a video, you're like, what is the crazy thing? And you can see that with people's vlogs. They start with just sort of being, here's me trying to solve a problem around the house, to like, now I'm in a fighter jet as a passenger blacking out at like 12 G's or what, you know, like it just keeps ratcheting up. And that's where I think a lot of people felt like the number one thing people say is, I'm not interesting enough to do this. My life is boring. My stuff is boring. And the thing that I think is really cool to remember, because I've been making a lot of like little vlog style videos.
And he's been having a great time. So if you haven't checked out youtube.com/TomBuck2, definitely go check it out.
Well, the point is though, like, I've been making these kinds of videos. They are a ton of fun. And I've been feeling, because I've been watching, like, you know, Peter's one of my best friends, and he's been traveling. He's traveled to Spain and Canada in the last month. So he's got cool airline seats. He's got Peter McKinnon in his vlog. He's got like all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm talking about like my camera bag, like in my office over here. And I had to really check myself and remember that doesn't matter. Like it's not a competition. First of all, this is the video I want to make right now. And thinking back to like Casey Neistat vlog, like the foundation of modern YouTube vlogging, my favorite ones from him are literally the ones where he's in his studio talking about something, working on something, maybe going like around the corner in New York to go like, I don't know, film something in a park or get food or whatever. Like kind of the really small stories.
Slice of life.
The slice of life. I enjoy the ones where, you know, if you go to his channel.
It's unremarkable.
Yeah, but the ones that are most viewed on his channel are like the crazy airline seat, or and
like skiing in New York
traveling
City,
around the world in a day, you know, parasailing in Dubai or whatever. And those are fun, good videos too. But I enjoy the smaller ones because it's so much more like, I mean, it goes the same thing. Like the number of times I've made videos in our backyard where people will talk about like palm trees are cool. I'm like, oh yeah, not everyone has palm trees. Peter goes to Sweden and he just pulls off the side of the road in some magical storybook forest. And I'm like, that's amazing. He's like, I just drive by that on the way to work. Like that's correct. That's just what I've seen my whole life.
We have to go hours to find a forest.
But I think that's what's important to remember is you're so used to just your perspective and your day-to-day. I know, but then
like, okay, so my counterpoint to that is like, what if the hot air balloon crashes into a sign, gets, you know, triple six-figure views, and then you're one that's like you're just in your office like doesn't,
right? Which it won't probably, but
Like, what do you do about that?
I think that's where it's important for you to be clear about what your goals are. If you're the person whose goals are growth, period, then...
See, and I think that's the tricky part, is because when you have to disagree with YouTube, it's hard.
Yes.
Because it makes it feel like you're doing something
you're failing.
Wrong.
Yes.
Because every indicator on your analytics will tell you, like, no, you know? And the other thing is, you know, on the flip side of that is that you can... I don't know, see things or gauge things that an AI can't, right? Like you know your other videos that you're going to create, you know what's down the pipeline, you know, a future collaboration that's coming up, or you know the videos that you didn't create and you created this one instead. Like there's all of that.
Yes. Your analytics only know the past. They only see the info here and they give you that info. And so they might tell you, based on this, you need to make more of this video right here. It doesn't know the other idea you have in your head over here that may or may not perform very well, but if you only focus on this, you might never do this thing, because it's not even that this is a bad idea or not performing idea. There's nothing to tell you that it even, nothing knows that it exists other than you.
That's why it's so hard, man.
Yeah, and it's
hard being a content creator.
Well, my point with the vlog thing is, like, if you have your hot air balloon crashing video and it goes really, you know, it does really well, I think that's an important thing to sit back and go, okay, I had a video that did really well. Do I like that video? Did I have fun making that video? Is there more that I want to explore on that topic? If so, great. And you can totally do that. If you're like, well, that was a once in a lifetime thing, I can't replicate that, I think it's very important to then accept that. And then do your thing that you are happy with, even if it's not going to perform the same way, because you should hopefully be looking at it from the long, like, sustainability standpoint of doing this in the long haul and not just for the short term, like, crazy bump in something. But my point in saying that is that your point of view a lot of times is the most interesting thing. And as I feel like more personal content is making somewhat of a comeback, I think that's a cool thing to remember, is that the stuff that seems kind of mundane and not exciting to you,
that's the thing that
can be the thing that's really exciting. Like, just seeing Casey's studio, he had to spend 15 years building it, like turning it into the thing that was interesting, but just seeing that in the background, fascinating. You know, just seeing Peter in the woods that I don't get to see, fascinating. And then on top of that, you have a person who seems interesting talking about something that's interesting. Like, all of those, that's so interesting, and that's very different from somebody just reading out, like, the specs of a new product that came out. And that's where it's like, I think there's that cool personal connection, I don't know, that you can go with on your audience.
Postcolor Gear says, I think the problem with them promoting it on the main page is that it's just a comparative tool. It's insane to think every video will always do better than the last.
It's not sustainable at all. Like, you can't get 1 out of 10. And if you have a video that does really well, your hot air balloon video goes nuts, and it's going to be 1 out of 10 for 10 weeks now. Or I guess 10 uploads. For me, it's 10 weeks. But for 10 uploads, that video is going to be there. Nothing else will compete to it. So everything's going to feel lesser than, even though that is the thing that is the outlier.
Tech for your needs. It may not be gaining a lot of views. The video needs to marinate, and later it will catch more views.
Maybe, but it's also fine. Like, the video's fine. Like, people have gotten a lot out of it already.
That's the thing. Like, the number of views shouldn't determine, like, whether
the success of the thing, like, right?
And especially, I was gonna say especially on your channel, but I feel like we should all look at our channels like this. Is that it's a whole, right? Like, it's the success of the channel is factoring the success of all the videos combined, and knowing that there is a portfolio, and this, you know, you are making the conscious decision of, like, you want this to be represented in the portfolio. Like, so this might not shine and this one might be, you know, super shiny or whatever, but it's like you're opening up the whole binder, and as long as you can say, like, this is the reflection of me that I'm cool with, regardless of what YouTube says for each individual thing, I feel like that's the thing that matters.
That's really important.
Yeah, but it's so hard when YouTube only knows what it knows, right? It only knows each individual thing.
It can only look at numbers and draw graphs based on the numbers. And
James and Mark says, we're not a vlog channel, but that's what our audience asks for, but not necessarily what we get views from.
See, that's always a tricky thing, is And that's where it's like, I don't know, you got to do what you enjoy as a creator.
Ona Coffee says, another thing, it may be a low performer, but those that watched it got great value out of it. That's what's important. Yeah. James and Mark says, I'm doing an experiment that is solely driven by views. Post a short every day around 6:25 p.m. and it gets about 6K views in the first hour. Today is day 3 of this experiment.
Interesting.
AI Tone Tech says, I thought YouTube would be the place to support me financially, but I'm finding that I have a place elsewhere, but I still share my content here. So into longer pay attention. So I no longer pay attention and do what I love.
Yeah. I mean, that because the other thing too, in the past week, or from that low performing video to now, I don't know how much that one video contributed to this, but my ad revenue went down $1,000 in that time, which is scary. And I'm thinking, well, it's summer. There's always a summer slump. It was crazy, though, because it's been wildly consistent all year long. And then suddenly, boom, like literally one day to the next, right around that time, that video had been performing poorly for about a week. And so it's
and that's that.
It's hard not to look at that and go like, yeah, oh, am I being punished now for this?
It just makes me, it makes me like feel bad.
But the age-old adage of like ad revenue is not where your primary
I know, but it's another indicator.
It's another indicator of this is a failure.
Yeah. Like, oh, we're going to pay you less money. Of course, you're going to be like, okay, it's a failure.
Yeah.
That's hard. Tech Troublemaker says, sometimes a gourmet chef makes a gourmet meal only for his family.
There we go.
Matt says, I watch Tom videos because they were so well done. I don't make videos, but I need resource to send people who will not be a customer, but who still needs a question answered.
I appreciate those referrals.
Ona Coffee says, it's not that YouTube thinks it's the worst video, just that it's the 10th performing video compared to your other releases.
Other videos were so amazingly good that nothing could compete.
Hey, Bailey. See. Eris says, burnout is real no matter the platform, profession, you name it. You guys are the best, by the way. Thank you. We got a super sticker.
Hair character jumping down saying number one fan.
Thank you. Ona Coffee says, my most recent video is 1 out of 10. It's completely different than every video on my channel, and there's no way that I can keep up with making videos in that style.
Right, it's important to recognize that.
Tech 4 Need says, that changes everything when you are monetized. If you need the money, what are you going to do? It's like you are in a small corner room trap. Exactly. Yeah. Like, that's where I feel so, it's like, it's hard.
Well, that's where I've really,
it's hard.
I know this is like the most
because of course the way that you're going to, if you're doing it for money, of course the way that you are gauging success is whether the money is up or down. That's it. Mm-hmm. But like, so are you. This is your full-time job. And throughout the 5 years, I've been able to see you make the conscious decision of leaving money on the table many times. Money. Yeah. And like, how do you explain that to somebody else? Like, how are they, I don't know. It's hard. I guess that's just like business savvy, where you consider every video an investment, and yes, it might do bad now, but if you're thinking long term, there's a strategy there. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you never know.
It's hard.
You never know.
Bailey says the small vlog videos Tom has done recently have been so amazing. That camera bag video was amazing.
Yeah, the video I put up yesterday about camera bags, the video itself is 18 minutes long. I think the raw footage was 25 minutes. And it took me, 35 minutes to edit, to go through and cut it out. And that's it. And the laziest B-roll ever. I literally just sat at my desk like, okay, here's a photo of that, done. Not because I didn't care about the video, but that's all the video needed to be. It was just me talking and showing stuff. It didn't need flashy craziness. So the whole video, start to finish, a little over an hour maybe, and I had a great time, and it's been so much fun to like talk with people in the discussions about that.
I feel like there's a momentum, like an energy that Tom has.
There's definitely the itch of like, I want, like I'm recording a time lapse right now, and I don't know why.
He's making stuff.
I don't know where that is gonna go. I don't know what that video would even be about, but that's fun.
It's got the bug.
Yeah, and it's fun to have that outlet because there is no pressure. That video can be 10 out of 10, and I couldn't care less.
See, but that's like, why?
Why do I care on the other one?
Yeah, I mean, I know why, because obviously it's the bread and butter that pays for the mortgage, but like...
That's why.
I don't know. Out in the Wild says, the move back towards vlogging is an interesting take. I've been watching videos that incorporate both talking head and walk and talk scenarios. Yeah. I think that mix of what used to be the rave along with the norm of studio-like videos is a great meeting point.
I think so too. And I even know people, because I don't do a ton of like brand related videos, but I know people who do, and a number of big brands have specifically been asking people to create more experience-based stuff rather than sitting at the desk videos. And it's interesting to me that giant brands are recognizing, like, yeah, we know it looks really good. Like the lighting and the sound and the video quality is good. And if you go outside and film this, it's not going to be lit as well. The sound's not going to be as good, but it's going to have something that's a little, it's kind of a different feel to it.
Vlogging's back. It's a good thing you got that EMCB1 mic or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's why I got it.
Matt says one of my favorite videos was the one he live streamed.
Oh, I love that.
Makes his videos.
That was fun. I did a live stream. I used the YOLO box. That way it could be totally separate from the computer. And I live streamed me recording a video so I could like film a part and then go talk to people. And then we even did the thumbnail, and Matt was like helping me, like, you should put that light over here and do this. So then I was like, we made the thumbnail. And then then I did another live stream of actually making the thumbnail. And so the whole video, the video's done, and then the stream of it is up so you can see like the video being made.
Robotra says, can you make an opinion poll? Because I have a question suggestion I would like to ask all in this channel about your future content and your both opinion, of course.
It depends what the question is, I guess, right?
Yeah, it depends what the question is. Tech Troublemaker says, vlogging and Blink are merging, whether tutorials or product reviews. Vlogging has to evolve. That is the pivot I am heading towards.
Yeah. I mean,
Hey, Leo.
It's just such a personal thing, too. Because also, like, I'm speaking of this from a mid-30s person. My point of view on what is popular or not popular is probably very different from a 16-year-old or a 60-year-old, or, you know, like, it's very different.
Bestest Times Reborn. Hi from Innisfail, Australia. Hello.
Maybe I failed to read that.
I'm just near you in Newcastle, Australia. Oh, it's cute. We got
so many
the Aussies. Daniel says, I'm looking for an answer to a question straight to the point, and pro video are perfect, but if I'm watching someone weekly, it's more for the personal connection. That's where the enjoyment is. Yeah.
Well, the pro video thing, like the formula is also, because I've been on the quest for a new camera bag lately, and I've been watching a lot of camera bag videos, and the number of videos, every video looks and sounds amazing. That's just like table stakes. You've been
watching.
Yeah. Even if literally the channels that have 30 subscribers and 2 videos, it's like this is freaking Hollywood movie. Like, it's perfect. But the number of videos that are, once I get into the video, it's great. But it is literally sometimes I will go, we are 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And you are still telling me to subscribe. You're still like, you're telling me like what the intro is going to be, then your loud like dubstep intro plays, and then we come to it, and then you're telling me what it's going to be again, and then you're telling me to subscribe, and you're like, okay, now with that out of the way, let's talk about the topic. And I'm like, you should start, I know that's like the comment video starts at whatever, but like seriously, you should start your video here, because it's not even just like, there was nothing useful or interesting in the beginning. Like, it was, I get it. Like, you did a nice cinematic montage or something. That is your creative decision to do that. But everything else is just like disclaimers and subscribe. And, you know, a thing that has been funny I've noticed lately is a lot of people say, like, don't forget to like hit the bell for the algorithm, hit like for the algorithm. And it's like, you could just say you want people to like the video. You don't have to like blame it on the algorithm or whatever. But let's just get into the topic over here.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Ono Coffee says 25, 18, 35. That's a great ratio. I've started doing more live streams on the stuff I'd like to talk about, but don't have the time to make an edited video about. There you go.
25, 18, 35.
I don't know what that is. Okay, so here's a thing that I wanted to tell you, because I'm not really sure how I feel about it.
Okay.
So I talked about this in the pre-show and Just Create More. But I am, if not today, definitely tomorrow. I still have to make the thumbnail, and I don't know how long of a process that's going to be. If I can get it out today, I will. But I have been spending the past week on a video for another channel. And I've had, this is the most fun I've had making a video in, I don't know, years, which makes me feel sad. It's like, what have I been doing? I don't know. I mean, I think, you know, I've been doing a lot of client videos, and tutorial videos are fun, but it's really fun making a video about something I'm just super into. Like, it reminds me of what you're doing, because you're genuinely super into cameras. You're not necessarily like claiming to be an authority, but like you happen to be an authority. I haven't done that, you know, like mine has been just like either vlogs or, you know, lots of commentary and tutorials and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun making this video. It's on a new channel. It's on a channel that now has 5 subscribers. It had 3 this morning. It has 5 subscribers now.
Well, you just want to take this play button now? Or...
And I said to Just Create More, I said, like, and I told Don this too, I'm okay with that channel becoming the main channel because I'm having so much fun. I haven't posted the video yet, but I have, like, all these ideas for other videos and stuff. And it's totally unrelated to what I've been doing. The thing that I was going to tell you was I do not want to check analytics at all.
Right.
I was going to have you check them for me in case there's something, because, you know, if
your video has 1 million views, you should know
there's
about
like
this.
A bunch of like sex chat bots or something, I need you to.
Oh, you know what? You should copy my blocked words list and just put it in.
Sure, but
it has 1,700 words on it.
Your time
my
lapse
GoPro turned
off. But like, just to really, you know, I'm still debating, but just to emphasize the point of like, I had fun making this video. Right. And even if one other person has fun watching it, that is all I care about. But also, I'm okay with it becoming the main channel. So, see, that's like the part of me where I'm recognizing like, okay, obviously this video is going to be 1 out of 10 because the channel has 0 videos.
Yeah,
so
they won't even give you the ranking for this one.
Oh, well, there you go. It has less than 10. So, you know, I don't know.
So
that's where I'm at.
I think that's interesting.
I wish I didn't have to, you know, this is me. I'm an extreme. Like, I always have to go, like, all or nothing.
Right.
And so I'm like, you just look at the analytics. I can't even look at it. But, of course, I want to know if it does. Of course. Like, I spent so much time. I had a great time. I want to see what people think of it. I want to see how it does. But I also know because, like, you know, because I care about it so much, 1,000% I'm going to be checking, like, every hour. And I don't want to do that. So
I guess, I mean... I'm happy to help. If you want me to just be a channel manager or whatever and check your stuff for you, I can. But what I can tell you is from my personal experience with the second channel, because it was the same thing. It's why, like, when we're talking about it, it is not an underhanded thing to go there. Like, if anything, I don't want it to grow. Like, not that I don't want it to grow, but, like, I love that people find it and go, like, oh, I like this, and I found it because of what it is. And that specifically, I guess I talked about it in a podcast episode. It's not that I don't care, but there's no pressure. I really do care that the videos are as good as they can be. I do care that the people, even if like a video gets 1 view a day, if the 1 view a day...
Yeah, we talked about this. We were like, it's not that you don't care. Of course you care.
Yeah.
You wouldn't bother making it.
Right.
Of course you care. But it's not... There's no pressure.
There's no pressure. The things I don't care about are the subscriber count and the view counts. Like and it's crazy because I care a lot about that on my main channel.
Yeah.
But it was almost like going into the second one and consciously like, that's not what this is for. I don't care about those things. I don't care about, like, I legitimately don't. I see the numbers because you can't avoid them. But in my mind, it's weird. Like, they have no weight. It's just like this screenshot here says 2022, 6:32 p.m.
It doesn't mean anything. That's how I feel right now.
Yeah. And that is great. I love that. I love going into comments and seeing, is there a new one? Did somebody like say something about the video?
That's literally how I feel about both of my channels right now. My tutorial channel, I couldn't tell you how many views or subscribers or anything. Same with this channel, because the couples table is fun to me, regardless of how many people are watching or the replays or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, that doesn't matter to me. We have a great time hanging out with you guys every week. I feel that the pull to care with my other one. Like, I feel like I would care.
Well, I think
more than I have.
It's something
with
new.
Stuff.
It's something different. So, it's exciting. So if you get the positive feedback of this new exciting thing I think it's just important to be aware of that and to not let that dictate it. Because I even remember starting my channel around the time we met. I remember thinking, don't care about views, don't care about anything. But even then, in the back of my head, like, what if my first video, like,
I've never
goes viral? I had the thought. I had the
drone certification.
Well, I guess it was when I was doing my first non-drone certification video, like the first, like vloggy style video, which of course didn't at all. And that's fine. But, the thought was there. You buy a lottery ticket and you're not going to win, but you think like,
what if I did though?
What if I won?
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, Ono Coffee said 28:18:35 was the ratio for the video I talked about. 25 minutes raw footage, 18 minutes final. Yeah, like.
Oh, got it. Let's see. Hey, Roger, good to see you.
Speaking of vlogs, Roger has been doing like daily vlogs for, I don't know, 10 or 11 days now.
Oh, great.
And they are awesome.
Oh,
really
wait, I
enjoyable.
think I saw you post that in the wins.
Yes, definitely. Like if you just want enjoyable stuff, and I bet, I don't know if you've done this, Roger, but if you've gone back and watched like first vlog to your most recent one, maybe the one I haven't seen yet, or at least the one from yesterday, there's already a huge difference.
Aww.
It's so cool just because like getting the reps in. And
Leo says, and I think that's where short form content can help a lot of creators to learn to get straight to the point.
Learning to get straight to the point. Very important.
I love art vlogs, especially artists that are really into cinematography, and they do these very beautiful vlog videos, drawing, talking about their life. It's really relaxing. So that creative girl.
I love that too.
Now, if it's just a regular vlog and you're just walking around showing me cleaning your bathroom, I'm not interested. Robotric says, I'm writing the question available on Tom's video. Earlier answer of yours done. Can you check, Tom? 200 characters were not enough.
I don't know where that would be.
On your latest video? That creative girl says, I have actually been known to click off a video if you have too many calls to action and an advertisement at the beginning of the video that has nothing to do with the topic. Did you find it? Roger says, I've been making vlog-ish videos this month and I've not done the typical YouTube intro by choice just because these videos are for me and whoever wants to watch them. Me and my life with a hint of camera stuff. I love that. Hey, Kathy, good to see you.
No, I'm not seeing it.
James says, me and Mark always discuss if our latest upload is a commercial success, lots of views versus critical success. We're proud, but low views. We need to make more videos that are both. Oh, I love that. Commercial success versus critical success.
Right. Sorry about tricks. I'm not seeing the thing there.
So commercial success is lots of views. Critical success is like you're proud because it's like that idea of like it adds to the portfolio. It represents the brand, but that one has low views.
Yeah.
But you're proud of it. Yeah.
And it's so important to just recognize that. To just, I don't know. I mean, the YouTube analytics are like the fuel gauge in your car. Like if it's telling you that your tank is on empty, it's not saying you're a bad car owner. It just means like tank's on empty.
Let me see that. Let me ask you this. Yes.
This silver play button?
I want to ask you this. Okay, as someone who is an owner of this,
yes,
and probably the only owner in this discussion right now, looking back on your journey to 0 to 100,000 subscribers plus, is there one thing that you can suggest to somebody that like this is the thing that will help you get 100,000 for sure?
Oh God, I'm trying to think of something that doesn't sound stupid to say. I mean,
like talk to yourself on day one who was making that first vlog that thought it was gonna go viral.
Okay, there is no short answer. The shortest version of the answer would be make videos, because you can't do it if you don't have videos. Like you have to keep making videos, lots and lots of videos, but you want them to be good. And so the thing that I think helped me, which we've talked about many times, is really thinking about sustainability. So some people are lucky and will post something and go crazy in a few months or a year or whatever. But most of us, that's not going to be the case. It's going to be a years-long journey if you wanted to get to that point. And so if you're starting something and you're looking at it from like
knowing it's going to take like 3 years.
If every decision you make and every video you create is done through the lens of how can I do this in a way that's going to let me keep doing it for years, it does change how you approach things. It changes, like it'd be really cool to do 3 super high quality videos a week. I would die after 3 weeks. Like, okay, cool. 1 video a week for me is what lets me keep making 1 video per week. And then sometimes I can do another one if I wanted to, but like that's the thing that keeps going. And it also is the thing, like you said, leaving money on the table. Like the first time you get the little email of someone saying, hey, we want to do a sponsored video, we want to do this, we want to send you that, you can feel really excited about it. You can think you want to do that, but do you want to do that? Like, is that going to be the best thing for your audience? Is that going to be the thing that makes you excited to make that video? Or is that going to start to feel like a hassle, and then you're going to procrastinate, and then you're going to dread it? Like, what do you need to do to keep making it so that you're having fun making videos, which does not guarantee that you're going to grow, but just knowing that growing is a long journey. Everything you do should be to create a sustainable thing so that you can keep doing it for the long term. And it's like it's not an interesting answer. It's not a shortcut answer, because there isn't one. It's so different. I'm sure if you took 20 people that had silver or gold play buttons and asked them like how they did it, you'd have 20 different answers.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
It's so different for everybody.
Let's see. Yeah, and I love a vlog that has good color grading. I know it's weird, but I like it.
It's not weird at all.
I don't care about views. I just do YouTube for fun. One of my last videos got 2.3K views.
And see, that number right there. So there are people here in our group right now that if they got 2.3K views on a video, would literally go out to like a fancy dinner.
Yeah, that's viral.
And there are people who, if they got 2.3K views, would be like, I guess I have to quit or just shut down my channel. And it's the same number.
I know.
So, like, yeah.
Solvids, unrelated, but do you use LUTs?
I made a Final Cut preset that I use, but I never shoot in log or anything.
I don't even know what that is.
I
think I've heard you talk about it.
It's almost like a preset, kind of.
But that was bottled. Sometimes I'll get a ton of views, but last 2 videos I've done got views.
Oh, botted.
But I didn't care. It was nice though. Oh, I see. I like Tom's videos because they're very informative, but more than anything, I like the aesthetic of it because
you're all in tune
style
with
and color scheme in the video.
Now I got to think like everything needs to be very aesthetic and.
For Tom, the success was slowly improving and so consistent. And what can I say? He just seems like a really nice guy, and I like to hang out even though we're 2,000 miles away.
It's fun, and I like making videos knowing like Matt's gonna eat breakfast watching this video.
I don't know. Tom has those thoughts like. Yeah. Aubrey's gonna like this video, or like, he thinks, like he pictures the regulars,
specific,
yeah, like, oh, someone would get a kick out of this or whatever, right. And I love that.
That's fun
because you know what you're creating for, like who you're creating for, and why you're creating it, and what.
I don't know if that's a good strategy or not, but it's really fun. And those people care.
I was recommended one of your microphone videos, and I clicked on it because of the aesthetic and the blurred out background.
I like this. I feel like we have very similar visual like preferences. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is a discussion. We don't have to have an answer at the end, right?
There's no answer. Solution. There is no. I mean, there is no. It's just that's the whole thing with the couples table.
Yeah, the whole point of the article,
conversation,
which I think is so interesting about that article, and if you didn't read it or see Heather's thing in the chat up at the top,
here I can
is how it flips that conversation from the creator influencing the audience to the audience influencing the creator, the person who makes stuff. And not even just YouTube, where they go into politicians, you can go to musicians, like
James,
whatever.
I don't know if you saw it or if you were here when we were talking about the article, but it's a whole article about the Nick Ocado guy. I think you're the one who told me about him.
Oh, I was just thinking about bands, maybe because Matt's here and he's like music related. Well, he's from Nashville, so I just associate music, and he is a music production guy. If there's a band that has a couple hit albums and then they make a new album, and they're being influenced by their audience, if they make an album that sounds like the other ones, there's some people are going to be like, okay, it's a new album, and a bunch of people are going to say they just do the same thing over and over again. So then if they make an album that sounds entirely different, there's going to be a bunch of people saying like their old stuff used to be better, this new stuff is terrible. And so no matter what, there's going to be people who are unhappy. And so that creative group of musicians needs to just sort of do the thing that they need to do to be creative and sustaining. But now, like, I guess the older that I get, there are things like, it's crazy when I think of like, oh, that new Blink-182 album is 20 years old. Ugh. And I remember, I'm thinking specifically, the thing that's coming to mind is Blink-182's self-titled album. When that came, or maybe it's the unnamed one, the Happy Face one. When that came out in 2003, it was like this is not at all like, this is nope, like, what are they doing? This is totally different. And now that's like an absolute classic. And of course, whenever their most recent album, it's like, no, this is garbage, it's not the same. It's like the new thing suddenly becomes the old thing, and like what was a new it's just so difficult. It's just so difficult to gauge that kind of stuff if you're paying attention to every single thing and trying to like move with the current of your audience all the time in every direction. You just can't. And it's a way to madness. It's a sure path to madness.
Let's see. I really enjoy Tom's videos on his second channel because it's more personal in a kind of
way.
And
that is the point. That's the point of it.
Matt says, I did know when he finally got the Procaster video that he was thinking of me because I have bugged it about him so many times.
I was going to use that mic today, but it was next to this one. I was like, oh, I haven't used the worker bee.
Okay, Robotrix, part 1 of 2. Tom has his pro content channel. Heather's pro discussion content is this one. I would like to ask you all, if you don't agree, they should do during a month experiment twice a week. Week 1 reacting movies, week 2 reacting fun content, week 3 reacting music videos, and week 4 reacting everything else and strange. How many would like that experiment with your chemistry?
You said not like what do you do? I don't know if I would want to do that. Is the problem?
That's the thing.
I like I like a one-off thing. I would love that.
We had this conversation of like, because you started watching a couple channel or like a channel that.
I was watching Scott Kramer, and he's like a commentary reaction channel. He's great, and a lot of his videos have his wife in them. And
I remember you told me like, oh, it's fun watching their dynamic, just reacting to things because they have such a
just talking
funny
and reacting
dynamic.
To stuff.
Yeah, and it's just them, but it's like fun to watch.
Yeah, even if the lighting is bad and the camera's like, there's nothing interesting about it. I'm like, this is really enjoyable to watch. I get it. I get why people might want to watch this.
Yeah. But yeah, we just wouldn't do that though. Like,
I mean, like a one-off thing, but it sort of goes into what we're talking about because imagine like that did amazingly well.
Yeah, now we got to do
I mean, you can see this. Let me see. I don't know if this changed.
Doing it for the views, stuff.
I think like Peter McKinnon's a good example. Someone who has almost 6 million subscribers.
God, I'm going to go to his
channel right now. I mean, he has videos that he's worked on for ages, videos that have insane...
Kathy says, I really connected with the video on Timbuktu when you discuss those feelings around August and life outside of returning to school. Cool
okay,
stuff.
So Peter's most popular 2 videos right now are shorts. So barring those, his most popular non-short video is from 3 years ago. It has 10 million views, and it's filmmaker reacts to crazy Hollywood camera techniques. I showed this to my students in class because it's a really fun video, but it is literally just from the guy who would travel around the world, use crazy full movie quality stuff, spend all this time editing. This is just a like, he's watching on his phone, you're seeing what he's watching, he's like, oh, this is crazy right here. That video had to take half a day to make, right? Most popular video on the channel. And then you can see that like he ended up doing 6 more of those videos because it's like, yeah, why wouldn't you? But then I think he hasn't done one in a while, so I don't know him enough to explain why. But it's like, I imagine after a certain point, it was like, oh, these do well, but maybe they're not the most exciting videos to make, and I'd rather make videos that I'm excited about. But that's the tough thing.
Well, it's the same reason why, like, I'm not inclined to stream myself playing video games, even though I play video games every day.
And you stream a lot.
Yeah. I have the setup.
Why not
to
just
do it.
merge the thing into one of the most popular categories on the internet?
But I don't want. I just like. I don't want to. You know, because it is. There is an aspect of performance. Like you're on. You're on. And like when I'm playing video games, I am off, yo. Like I don't want to be on. Like, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's a hard thing.
Yeah, like. I don't know. It's hard. So that's where we're at.
It's a tough one. But I very much appreciate the experimental idea. It's really fun. And who knows, maybe it'll pop up at some point some way.
We got couples table, like, I don't know, the bonus ep.
Matt says he does have a double platinum album, but it is 20 years old.
Oh, wow. Homesick Max says, it's like when Bob Dylan grabbed the electric guitar and went on tour with the band after his protest folk guitar first period. Tom, have you reviewed the Beacon mic?
I have not. I think the Beacon is Windows only, and I use Mac, so that's a big like.
Hey, Action Crypto! I feel like we haven't seen you in a while. You guys are fun to watch.
Thank you.
There should be a monthly quiz show on a couples table. Those special shows were fun for us, and it looked like you guys were having a blast.
Those are fun. They just obviously take more work to prep for.
Yeah.
But it is really fun.
Where would you rank OnlyFans as a community building platform for
That's an
content
interesting
creators?
question. I don't know. I've never used OnlyFans either as a creator or a fan.
The way that I see OnlyFans, I don't know anything about it. I've never been on the website, but from what I know, I feel like it's just a Patreon, right? Like it's
that's what I was thinking is.
It's a membership, gated
exclusive content thing, and like Patreon, I'm growing a very different appreciation and respect for Patreon. Not just for myself, but for the things that I see it enables other people I like to do. Like, there are so many creators I support on Patreon who wouldn't, because of the stuff they make, wouldn't be able to do it full time and at the quality they do it without Patreon, because the stuff would get demonetized, or it's just not something that would get a ton of views or whatever. But because of their Patreon, they know
they can make those videos.
Yeah, like Super Eye Patch Wolf is a great example. He has a YouTube channel with 1.5 million subscribers, but he makes a lot of videos that are probably going to get demonetized. So it doesn't matter how great those videos do, they're not going to bring in any money. But he has a Patreon, has 5,000 people, which is a lot of people. But there's only one tier, and the tier is $1, and it's $1 per project.
Bye, Daniel. He's taking off.
See you, Daniel.
He's losing internet.
And he makes usually maybe one video a month, maybe-ish. But he knows every time I upload that one video, there's $5,000.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like he's an extravagant guy. That's probably enough to cover the bills for the month. Nothing else matters. If the video doesn't get demonetized, and then I would guess 1.5 million subscriber channel with a lot of views, that's going to bring in more money as well, plus whatever other things he does, which I don't know. But just the idea that because of his Patreon, he can make whatever he wants, as obscure as he wants, as demonetizable as it needs to be, and not have to worry because there's the community there that's supporting it.
Yeah.
I love that. So I don't know. I feel like OnlyFans is, a version of that kind of thing. Like maybe a different version, but it's sort of like, I don't know, you can support someone doing something that they want to do that they wouldn't be able to monetize otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
know. Okay. Might be like Patreon, but just hearing subscribe to my OnlyFans just gives me
it's different.
Subscribe to my Patreon. Well, it definitely gives people different feelings.
Yeah, so because I'm thinking of Patreon, at least for me, I know I have people I subscribe to or support on Patreon that even maybe they've changed over time, and I might not even be as interested in their newer stuff, but I still like being a patron because that's why I want to do it. Is because I don't want them to have to worry about
right, like you're supporting them.
I'm supporting them being able to make the things they want to make, even if it doesn't end up being what I want.
A lot of times, like I'm not gonna lie, instead of buying your $25 shirt, I'd rather give you like $25 over a year. Let me be a member, at your $25 Patreon tier.
But I'm thinking OnlyFans people might not want to support people that they don't get stuff from right away.
Yeah, I think
so it might be a little different.
There's a different exchange.
People might be more apt to leave if they're not like getting whatever is promised. But
whatever is promised.
I don't know.
All right. When are you gonna make your OnlyFans?
No. No. I'm uncomfortable now. I do like Patreon though, and channel memberships. So there's
I gotta go eat lunch. So.
Oh yeah, I have a triple chocolate cupcake up in the fridge right now.
Yeah,
Can't wait for that.
Cupcakes.
Yes.
If you ever come to the Coachella Valley,
Tiffany's Sweet Spot.
Tiffany's Sweet Spot. She was on Cupcake Wars. It's our go-to cupcake place. Yes. Anyway. It's been fun hanging out with you guys. If you have any suggestions for future topics, let us know. Reach out to us on all of the things. And I don't know. That's it.
Go check out Roger's vlogs.
What's promised, Tom?
Nothing is promised. What's promised is that I hope you have a safe, happy, healthy, fun rest of your week. And we will see you next time.
Bye, everybody. Oh, that's a keynote. Hold on.
Awkward silence.
Where's my outro? There it is. Bye. Bye.